Good evening, guys, and welcome back to another Prepared 3D video. We are back in the sim after being away for some summer vacation as well as some work travel. And today we're going to do a flight in the FSLABS Airbus A320 with the newly released FS2CREW from Phoenix to San Diego International Airport. What can I say? FS2CREW, I've been waiting for this for quite some time for the FSLABS. It's finally been released. We've done one flight in it so far. Didn't go too well. I kind of, it was kind of just a trial basis just to see what it was like. I didn't read too much of the documentation, but I've been able to have since dig into it a little deeper, kind of edit it to my liking based on timing and the simulated ACARS and ATSU modeling for this aircraft. Make some adjustments on my own, kind of modify the timing a bit to kind of give it a little bit more of a seamless flow. Pretty nice so far with the first initial impressions. There's some bugs here and there, but for the most part, I pretty much like it. So without further ado, let's hop in the cockpit. We've already ran off pre-flight procedures. Our FO is outside doing the security or safety exterior inspection. So in the meantime here, we will go ahead and fill out what we need to fill out. He will come back in and run the fire test and all that other good stuff. Currently 109 degrees Fahrenheit right now here in Phoenix. So pretty warm. So we've got the external power going with the air conditioning card outside as well. Get the aircraft nice and cool before the passengers start to board. Alright, let's jump on down here. Today we are American 559. Zero fuel weight of 131.3. We got a block fuel of 12.2. Get that going there. Go with my ATSU. In it, American 559. Phoenix to San Diego, we've got a air time, wheels up to wheels down time of 46 minutes. Initiate data request. Installation received. Official flight plan data 12227 is our actual blocked fuel. Taxi fuel, it'll be a pretty short taxi out to runway 26 this evening. And trip fuel of 5120. And 0230 for the departure time. 25 minutes. Let's go ahead and make that 0235 just to be on the safe side. And we'll send that out. Refuel via GSX. And we can get catering started as well. That has been requested. That's our FO here. He's back. He's there adjusting his seats and whatnot. Let's go ahead and our initial load sheet. 131.3, 143.1. Exactly what SimBrief gave us. The rest of that looks good and signed off and prepared by our good friend Robbie Davis. We'll accept that. I won't print the initial load sheet. That's the FO doing the fire test now. I won't print the initial load sheet. We'll print the final one. Slot time 0235. Looks good. And I also like to get my departure and arrival weather information on the same sheet here that I print out. So we've got 240 at 14 for our winds, 10 statute of a mile, few clouds at 9,000, few at 16,000, few at 25,000, and again, incredibly hot here in Phoenix today, 43 degrees Celsius, altimeter 29068. San Diego, we can expect winds out of the west as usual at 5 knots, 9 statute of a mile. We've got overcast ceiling for this time of the evening, pretty standard there in San Diego, of 900 feet, 19 degrees Celsius, altimeter 29087. There is the lights turning on here in Phoenix Airport. I believe I printed that already. Yes, we did. So we can go back here to the main page. What's he up to now? He's doing his preliminary cockpit flow. Let's take a look outside. Got the catering trucks. No matter what I do, GSX continues to bring those stupid Southwest catering trucks. I've called American, obviously, as you can see by the vehicles outside. But no matter what aircraft I am flying, GSX loves to bring Southwest for the catering trucks, as if Southwest has a monopoly on the airport for catering. So if any of you guys know how to edit that or fix that, kind of ruins the immersion, please feel free to let me know. Alright, without further ado, let's get inside here and set up the box. Flight plan. Let me go ahead and just clear this out really quick. So today we are about to runway 26 via the Firebird 1 arrival Mohawk transition. Into San Diego, we can expect the localizer runway. Thank you, sir. Localizer runway 27 approach via the Lucky 1 arrival and Hogs transition. Clear that. Let's go ahead and get our wind request. That's good there. While that's going, let's set up our secondary flight plan information. We'll copy the active in case we need to come back to the airport in the event of an emergency after V1. Put in Phoenix. We'll come back into 26 via the ILS approach, no star. We'll get vectors from air traffic control. Secondary flight plan information is in. RadNav, that looks good per the charts. Radio fix info is next. In the event of an engine failure out of Phoenix, runway 26. Give me a second here. Let me consult the charts rather. Firebird 1 Mohawk. Arrival 27. Alright, so we will fly the radial of 260 degrees, which is essentially runway heading. With a radius of 20 degrees, 20 nautical miles rather. Looks good there. Let's make sure we have no discons. We do not. Wind uplink is ready. Looks good. Let's get the MCP set up. No ATC on, so our initial climb will be 10,000 feet. He will come and set his pilot monitoring or FL side up in a second. Fuel truck is here. Catering has just finished. So we're looking good there, and we're looking good on timing as well. Let me just go ahead and take a look here. We've got our radial information. We've got our secondary flight plan information in as well. And let's just step through this routing really quick. Looks good. And we'll go over this briefing here in a couple of minutes. So with this new give me 1 second here, I'm just setting up my charts on my other monitor here with the lovely Navigraph. Alright, so with this new newly released FS2CREW version, there is a lot of departure and arrival information that you have to put in for the pilot monitoring and first officer to read. Obviously, the stuff in the white is static information, which essentially you would use to brief your departure. We'll do our own briefing here. We won't follow this really, but we do need to put some accurate information in here because this is what the first officer or the pilot monitoring uses for our departure and to make the appropriate callouts. So obviously, terrain on pilot monitoring ND side will be on. It'll be a PAX off departure. Next page, config 1 plus F, it'll be flex, really hot outside, so we don't want to stress the engines. We'll get our flex temp and V1 speeds once we get our performance numbers. Our transition altitude, obviously we are in the States, so that'll be 18,000 feet. Thrust reduction altitude, today we're looking at 2640.
I'm back with no issues on the walk route.
Thank you, sir. We'll go to our next page. Our acceleration altitude as well is 2640, so we'll get that in. Our cruising altitude today is only 28,000 feet. And I'll be the one flying here, left seat, and no single engine taxi. So the pilot monitoring and single engine taxi are a whole nother set of flows that has that comes with this FSLABS version of FS2CREW. The normal procedures and flows is complicated enough, so I'm going to do a couple flights to get used to it before we even venture to that side of things. So that's all you need to do for now. Unlike the Boeing versions, you don't really have anything to run the departure brief just because of some technical limitations is what's cited in the manual. So just putting in this information alone here is enough for the first officer. Alright, let's take a look here. Fueling looks to be completed. So I'm going to speed this up to the point where she asks the flight attendant, that is, for me to board the aircraft.
Hi, security and safety check are all done. Are we good to start boarding?
Yes.
Okay.
Alright, so we'll start boarding at 0216. Go ahead and request that. Start boarding here in about 10 seconds. We'll finish up our fuel info here. Send that off to company. 150 passengers is accurate. Boarding will begin here shortly. Did that send off? Let's do that again. Yeah, that is good. It has cleared the 6 figure here. So next up is, now that we have fuel completed and um, boarding starting, I will ask the first officer to check the box. Check the box.
Okay.
So he's going to go through now, and if you see on the pilot monitoring or first officer side, he is going through here and checking the flight plan, fuel, secondary flight plan info, and all that good stuff. Pretty cool. And then once he's done with that, we'll run the checklist and do our briefing. Really no one else around here. We're on VATSIM, but no traffic. Alright, I think he's done. Let me do the oxygen test, actually. Ground from cockpit.
Go ahead.
Oxygen test.
Roger.
Alright, that looks good. Are you ready for the takeoff briefing?
Ready.
Alright, so we are in the Airbus A320 aircraft today. We have a good aircraft, a flying American 559 as our call sign. Phoenix to San Diego, cruising altitude of 28,000 feet. We've got a block time of 46 minutes. I'm sorry, air time of 46 minutes, block time of 1 hour and 14 minutes. Departing via the Firebird 1 departure Mohawk transition. We will brief that here in a second. Out of gate B13, it'll be a short taxi to runway 26. No real weather concerns for our flight, our quick flight this evening. We've got block fuel in now of 12,227 pounds, and that's adequate fuel for our...
Gentlemen, and welcome on board. As you find your seats, please place larger carry-on luggage into overhead compartments and place any smaller items under the
That is adequate fuel for our flights and necessary... our flight and our necessary alternate of Los Angeles, LAX this evening. So that looks good. As I mentioned, we are on the Firebird 1 departure. So out of runway 26, climb heading 258 to 1,635 feet, then left turn direct GTAC, then on track to 151 degrees to Wetzel, then on track of 221 to Firebird. So pretty straightforward departure. All of this has been programmed into the box as well. We are currently here at gate B13. It'll be a short taxi out to runway 26. And we will note that to the flight attendants when they ask to close the door. Departure brief complete. Takeoff briefing complete. Sorry, any questions? Any questions?
I'm good.
Takeoff briefing complete. Here's some of the bugs I was mentioning. For some reason, he has turned on all of the lights here, the takeoff and nose lights. I'm not sure what is up with that. But when I did that initial flight, I did notice that as well. So something that they need to work on here with a new release or an update. Unless I'm doing something wrong that is causing him to turn those lights on. We've got some more company messages. Let's take a look here. So we can ignore that for now. At about the 10-minute mark, I'll fire up the APU, and we will go through the rest of the flows. So So it looks like baggage is complete. Really nice airport here by FlightBeam. I really love every single one of the airports. Done very nicely. Really no performance hits at all. Alright, looking good. Well, actually, we can fire up the APU now. And we'll get the fuel pumps on. And seatbelt signs on.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome on board. As you find your seats, please place larger carry-on luggage into overhead compartments and place any smaller items under the seat buttons. Let a flight attendant know if you need anything. On this flight,
Flap open, can start the APU.
one of our United Flight options sponsored by the Pilot Club Explorer Card. To watch free movies and TV shows on your tablet or mobile phone, you will need the latest United app. So please make sure you download it before we close the doors. Entertainers will be available after the movie. Please use your smaller lightweight devices such as mobile phones, tablets, speakers, mobile car phones. Larger devices such as laptops, CD players, may be used until we're ready to depart. At that time, they must get stowed either under the seat in front of you or in an overhead compartment. Once again, welcome on board.
And we can actually do our PA briefing now as well.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen, from the flight deck. This is the captain speaking. On behalf of the entire flight crew and myself, I'd like to welcome you aboard today's flight. Our flight attendants are there for your comfort, but more importantly for your safety, so please give them a few minutes of your undivided attention while they go over the safety features of this aircraft. Once the boarding process is complete, we'll get the cabin door closed and push off the gate for an on-time departure. In the meantime, please sit back, relax, enjoy the ride. Welcome aboard.
Alright. They've got some really nice new sets of announcements with this release here. Alright, the APU and APU bleed on will kill the external power. Alright, before start checklist, please.
Cockpit prep.
Completed?
Completed. Gear pins and covers.
Removed.
Signs.
On, auto.
Adheres.
Nav.
Fuel quantity.
12.2 thousand pounds. 12.2 pounds.
Takeoff data.
Set.
Aero rep.
2969 set.
296 set down to the line.
Alright, and then the next thing is... Thank you.
Talk to you soon.
The next thing is for the, at the 3-minute mark, the flight attendant will come back and ask me to close the door if it's okay for her to close the flight deck door. Alright, I'm not going to wait for FSLABS to close these doors. I'm going to do it myself here, just in the interest of time and keeping this video as short as possible. with everything that we're trying to fit in. And then that will hopefully prompt for our final load sheet. There we go. Load sheet. Go ahead and print this out actually. We'll accept that. Alright, what are we looking at? 131.3, that has not changed. And 0 fuel weight CG 30.9. And our block fuel, that looks the same. Just make sure we did our wind request. Yes, we did. Performance request now. We're departing Phoenix. Runway 26. Packs off, yes. Winds 240 at 14. QNH 2968 will go one less, 2967. And temperature, like I said, very hot, 43 degrees Celsius, we'll go 42. Toga no, config 1 plus F, we have a almost 12,000 foot runway. We'll be flexing and we only need flaps 1 plus F. Estimated takeoff weight, we've got 143.1, spot on to what SimReef gave us. And our MACTOW is 30.2. We'll go ahead now and send that off. And wait for that to come back. And see what I mean? Again, he has turned on the takeoff lights for some reason, so I'm not sure what is causing him to do that, but that is definitely a bug that they need to work out. Got about 5 minutes to push back. So we are right on schedule. Again, just waiting for the performance numbers.
Ground for cockpit. Go ahead. Remove external power. Roger. Removing external power.
And you'll see that ground removes all of this.
External power removed.
Roger.
And they'll remove the chocks a little bit later. Request pushback and start clearance. Actually, I think that's after she closes the door. So let's go to our performance information first. Alright, we'll do 1 down 0.4. Flexing is 6.7. And 48, 50, and 51 is our V speeds for today. Looks good. Alright, let's go ahead and speed this up here.
Hey guys, all packs are on board. Are we clear to close?
Yes, it'll be a short
Thanks.
taxi.
Let me know if you need anything.
Alright, so it's on. TA. We'll get the beacon on. Request pushback and start clearance.
Ground, good evening. It's American 559. Okay, clear to push and start. American 559.
See, okay, so that's simulated now, and again, they got that information from the departure page that we filled out in FS2CREW. Cabin crew arm slides and cross-check. So that will trigger Norman here to let the cabin crew know to arm the slides.
Flight attendants prepare for departure and cross-check. Stand by for roll call.
Or whatever sound pack that you have installed. I have American for this one. And you'll see these slides start to arm. There you go. All good there. And then now we can call for below the line. Below the line.
Windows and doors.
Closed.
Closed. Beacon.
On.
Cross levers.
Idle.
Parking brake.
On.
4-star checklist complete.
Alright.
Hello everyone. Thank you for your attention. It's time to get you ready for takeoff.
And we will be going nose left.
We know you have lots of choices, so thanks for choosing American.
And we're on Unicom, so let's announce our pushback here.
We'll be on our way.
Good day, Captain. The tug is connected now. We'll be pushing back in just a couple of minutes. Can you please confirm that your parking brake is set?
First,
And for those of you that do not know, with this new GSX update, you can actually take the view of the vehicles here.
Clear for engine start.
Push and start. 0234 Zulu noted. We'll start the clock. Alright, we've got everything we need up top. Starting engine 2. Now again, you must say starting engine 2, starting engine 1 for it to trigger the after start checklist, I believe is what I read there in the manual. So that looks good. Starting engine 2.
dispatch is complete. Set your parking brakes, please,
Brakes are set. That's a good start at number 2. Starting engine 1.
Put the vest over your head. Wrap the strap around your waist, attach the buckle, and pull tight. Once outside, pull the tab to inflate your vest or blow into the red tube on the side. In the water, a light on your vest will illuminate. And please, only inflate your vest outside the engine.
Tug is disconnected, Captain, and clear. Bypass 10 has been removed.
Alright, short taxi.
Clear left and right. Disconnected now. Have a good flight. Bye-bye.
Alright, that looks like 2 good starts. After start checklist. So that flaps 1 here. After start checklist. Yeah, this is where I got hung up last time on the first flight. So I'm not sure what's going on. Starting engine 2. Starting engine 1. See? So for some reason you have to say it again after the engines are started for that to proceed to the next phase. Which, again, either I'm doing something wrong or there's a bug there. Alright. What did we say? Down 0.4 for the flight controls. After start checklist.
Anti-ice.
Off.
ECAM status.
We'll do our recall. Checked.
Pitch trim.
Set and checked.
Rudder trim.
0.
After start checklist complete.
Flight controls check. It's full up.
Full up.
Full down.
Full down. Neutral.
Neutral.
Full left. Full right. Neutral.
Rudder.
Full left. Full right. Neutral.
Flight controls look good. So now the pilot monitoring will do the flight controls check. And as you can see, my stick is moving, which I think John pointed out to me earlier today that shouldn't be because they are independent sticks. So again, another bug that FS2CREW needs to work out, or again, it might just be technical limitations there. So we'll go auto brake max. And he's going through his taxi flow. Request taxi clearance. Request taxi clearance. Okay, so I think I should have done that before he went through his taxi flow. Request taxi clearance. That's fine. Clear left side. Clear lefts.
Clear right side.
Alright, we're good to go here. We'll announce that we're taxiing on Unicom. Mr. Park and brake. Taxi light on.
Hey guys, we're all set back here. Cabin secure.
Thank you. Before takeoff checklist.
Flight controls.
Checked.
Check. Flight instruments.
Checked.
Check. Briefing.
Confirmed.
Flap setting.
Config 1 plus F.
Config 1 plus S. V1, VR, V2, flex 10.
VR 148. I'm sorry, V1 148, VR 150. V2 152, flex 6-7 degrees. Flex 6-7 degrees.
V1 150, VR 153, V2 154, Toga, ATC.
That is not what I said, but okay. Set. Set.
ECAM memo.
Takeoff no blue.
Down to the line.
Alright. Below the line.
Takeoff.
26 confirmed.
Confirmed. Cabin crew.
Cabin crew seats for departure. Confirmed. Advised.
TCAS.
TARA.
Engine mode selected.
Normal.
Pax.
Off.
Before takeoff checklist complete.
Strobes on. Takeoff light on. Landing light on. Landing light on. Landing lights on. Oh, there it goes. Take off. Start the clock. We got somebody taking off without saying a damn word on Unicom, of course. Are you ready? Take off. Manflex 67, SRS, runway, auto thrust, blue.
Check. Thrust set.
Checked.
V1.
Rotate.
Nice and easy here on the rotation.
Positive.
Gear up.
Gear up.
Okay, he should have turned the packs on once we hit climb thrust, but not sure what happened there, so we'll go ahead and turn it on. And we have no ATC, so we'll go ahead and open climb all the way up to our 280. Flaps 0.
Speed check. Flap 0.
And you can see he has disarmed the spoilers already, and he actually turned off the takeoff light and nose lights. After takeoff climb checklist.
Landing gear.
Up,
Flaps.
retracted,
Packs.
on.
Down to the left.
I'm really botching this departure here, but it's cool. You know what, let's go direct, Firebird, actually. So again, at 18,000 feet is when we call for the next checklist. At 10,000 feet, he'll kill the lights and ask to turn off the seatbelts.
Firm seatbelts on.
Confirm.
Confirm. Clear red.
Confirm. So he's cleared.
Active to secondary.
He's clearing the RADDAT information, and he's going to clear the secondary flight plan information. Confirmed. Confirm.
Cruise flight level is as shown. Optimum flight level is as shown. Recommended max flight level is as shown. Are you happy with our current flight level?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Autopilot 1 on. Autopilot 1.
Check.
We've got a company message already, which is again most likely our arrival information. Gate 35. We're actually going to come in at 29 today, so we'll change that. And the other checklist is pretty straightforward. So I'm gonna go ahead and, you know what, we'll leave it. Once we get to 18,000, I'll call for it. Cut the video, and then we'll come back for the arrival. So again, this is only my second flight with this. We did the first flight kind of just to see what it had in stored. Didn't go so well. We didn't really read the manual, so I had some time to read the manual over the last day and kind of tweak things here and there, just based on the way I fly and the flows that I use. So obviously feel free to leave your feedback and your comments, and if you've been utilizing this newly released FS2CREW for the FSLABS Series. My overall I guess review of it is, even though this is not really a review, just kind of a first look, is it's pretty good. It really adds some simulation depth to an already pretty well simulated aircraft in the FS Labs. Makes it a little less boring to fly with kind of a another crew member here below the line.
Barrel rail.
Standard set.
Standard. Set. After takeoff, climb checklist complete.
Kind of makes it interesting to fly with another person here. We'll actually go ahead and clear this this radio fix information. I'll cut the video here. It's a short flight, but this video is already long enough. We'll come back when the departure time comes, and we'll show you the departure flows with FS2CREW. Thanks as always for watching, and stand by to check out part 2 of this video. Take care.